Hi guys, as usual, before we begin, all the necessary links in the video description, my test system setup details also in the video description down below. So, do you realize that Tanchjim brand is manufactured by Nanning Heavy Hammer Technology? It says that right here on the box. Just it's here. Yep. So Tanchjim Force is anything but heavy, and it's not a hammer. These are those little guys. Yes, it can hit hard when needed, but it's also gentle and precise when called for. But more on the sound quality later. Jokes aside, this is the most expensive Tanchjim IEM set I got so far, at $280. I happen to really like Tanchjim house sound tuning, so I was really curious about this dual driver IEM that's roughly 2 times the price of Tanchjim Origin I reviewed recently, and I really like that headphones. So let's talk about some specs. These are dual drivers. They have 2 dynamic drivers. One of them is 8.2 mm and the second one is larger at 10 mm. The smaller one, 8.21, is covered with beryllium, and the larger one with titanium. Both are very strong, very rigid metals, but they are also very light at the same time. Tanchjim says that these drivers are DMT4 Ultra generation, which is interesting because Tanchjim also produces headphones that are using DMT5 generation, so these are not the latest, although they have Ultra moniker, and this is actually one of the most expensive headphones that Tanchjim produces right now. Interestingly, not with the latest DMT5 generation of the driver inside. So the specification says these have total harmonic distortion in range of 0.05%. The impedance is on the lower side, it's 17 ohms. Sensitivity is quite high at 120 decibels, and frequency response is anything between 8 Hz and 48 kHz, so that's really impressive. These are using 0.78 mm pin cable, and the cable is interesting because the cable is made by Effect Audio with single crystal copper, and the Tanchjim guys are actually talking about the cooperation with Effect Audio. You have a small leaflet from Effect Audio in the documentation of the Force, and it's also mentioned on the box right here and on the headphones themselves, as you can see. So that's interesting, and the cable is really good, but we will talk about that later. Before I'll get to the build and comfort, let's talk about the things that we're getting. You are getting a very nice set of accessories. You are getting quite large set of silicone tips. Note that these have smaller diameter and these have larger diameter. These are more open sounding, more transparent, and these will be slightly warmer. You also get a very nice, let's have it here, a very nice fox leather pouch for your headphones that's lined up with Swede inside and not Sweden and it has a magnet lock here. I really like that. So you are getting very nice set of accessories, and moreover, the audio effect cable is a very interesting device on its own because it's a universal cable that uses 3 types of connectors. You can have USB-C connector that's actually hiding digital to analog converter, headphone amplifier, and DSP inside. So this one is wow. And 2 other connectors, standard 3.5 mm jack and balanced 4.4 mm jack, meaning that the cable is balanced, and I really like that. Now the build and comfort. This part of the shell is made with translucent resin. You can actually see air ducts inside, yeah, like that. And the outer shell is made with machined aluminium, and as you can see, there is a mesh, and you can sometimes see the contents of the headphone inside, and this means that these are open headphones. They won't isolate as well as closed IEMs, but at the same time they will have wider stereo imaging. The plastic here is very light. These weigh almost nothing. You can almost not feel them in your hands, and the same goes for your ears. They are so light that you can immediately forget that you're wearing anything in your ears. I also like the fact that the nozzles are quite long. As you may remember, I have quite large ears, and headphones with long nozzles are very comfortable for me because I do not have to push the IEM very deep inside of my hair, of my ear. Okay, what else can we see here? You can actually see both drivers inside, yeah, and you can see that the headphones are marked with the channel with the side, the small R letter here, and Tanchjim Force. And that's it. You've seen the connector, you've seen the effect audio, and one of the headphones has Tanchjim and the other one has Force, Tanchjim Force. So that's about the build quality and about the comfort of the headphones. So let's talk about the most important part, which is sound quality. How do these guys sound? I will play with one of them when I will be talking here, because I like to do something with my hands. So, the force in the name would suggest something like tones of bass, right? It's not like that at all. The bass here is supernatural and neutral. When the track has a rumble, the force will go really low. But if the track is basslight, there will be nothing added. I love this type of clear and controlled bass. When needed, it can shake your head, but it's more about quality and power only when called for, not all the time, everywhere with all the track. So the bass is of very high quality, but it's there only when needed and when called for. Now, moving on to mid-range. Mid-range is very open and it's very musical. The vocals have this organic timbre that's speciality of dynamic drivers. There is a lot of detail, vibrating sounds, but the signature here is mostly about musicality. Not blanket on the speaker kind of musicality, but the natural flow of melody line like some sparkling liquid. They have absolutely no sibilance and there is no listening fatigue, just natural flow of music. And that gets us to treble. The treble is also very nice and I like it a lot because it's very open, it's transparent and smooth. You may recall that I'm mostly an electrostat speaker and headphone guy, so I always prefer and I always appreciate this kind of transparent, open and clear sound. I would call the treble gentle. It has all the sparkle and extension you will need, and it delivers this in a sweet way. It's also very detailed, but first and foremost, it's about being musical. So these qualities kind of explain the price. They have these headphones have a very nice, very enjoyable tuning, but they are also very good technically. And when we are talking about the technicalities, let's talk about the detail. They are very detailed. You can easily pick small, quick things happening in the back. They will also not lose anything in complicated orchestral passages. But their focus, as I said earlier, is on musicality. They have all nuances for you to find, but you can also just relax and enjoy the ride. So this is also something that I really appreciate because although I am a fan of detailed sound, I do not like all the details being pushed in my ears in a very analytical way. I want to have all of them. I want all of them to be there, but I want them to be there for me to find, not to be in the forefront of the music. Now, moving on to imaging. That's a tough one. Left and right imaging is quite wide. There is also some depth information, but the soundstage is not as deep as it's wide. On the other hand, bad recordings will sound flat. So basically most of the 90s music is just like a flat picture. If you have a track like that, you'll immediately feel it's just basically flat. I would say the stereo image is rather oval. It's wider than it's deeper. It never feels cramped and closed in the middle point of your head. So that's a plus. This is something that being open here helps with because the sounds do not always sound like they would be happening only inside your head. The imaging gets out of your head, not by far, but it's still out of your head. And the most important thing is that it doesn't seem to be coming from one place inside of your head. So that's very good for IEMs. Now, there is also another interesting thing here about them, or rather the cable, a DSP. If you will be using this particular plug, this is not an usual plug. This is not just an adapter, not just a connector. Inside here we have digital to analog converter, headphone amplifier, and interestingly DSP processor. And the thing is that by default, if you take it right out of the box, there will be a DSP equalizer profile loaded that slightly boosts the treble and the lowest bass with something like 5 decibels deep in 8 kHz area. This profile adds some nice rumble in the lowest bass range below 50 Hz, and as always I would like to know that the default tuning with the DSP here is not flat, because this may come as a surprise. Now let's talk about the DSP application, because it's not just digital to analog converter with headphone amplifier and DSP. You can actually tune and program this DSP to your liking. So let's take a look at that. And we'll do that with my tablet. So we're connecting this here, and yes, we want to allow the Tanchjim application to access the device. Let me zoom out the camera just a second, like that. Yeah. So we are starting the Tanchjim Map, which is over here, and we immediately see that we have Tanchjim EA Force connected here. We can read the data from the DSP, and we can see and choose one of the official presets that are here. Yeah, so we can choose one of them, and as I've said, the default one is not flat. And we can also choose some gaming EQ profiles. You've probably seen that if you've seen my other Tanchjim reviews. This is quite nice thing because it has widely known games, not only phone games, but also some classic PC titles here. And we also have some Nintendo Switch things. Yeah, but let's leave it at that. You can post and download your EQ profiles on EQ profile, but it's mostly with Chinese users at the moment. But the thing that I like the most is this one. By the way, this is the stock profile for the DSP. The thing is that this is a very good quality parametric equalizer. If you want to change that, you can just edit frequency, gain, and Q factor and set it completely to your liking. So this is something I really like. I always would like to know that the default profile is not flat, but once it's here, I can tune it to my liking, and that's excellent. One thing about the application though, as I've mentioned earlier, How do you get an application? It had not been published in the either Play or Apple Store. You have to use the QR code. Yeah, let's scan that if you can. The problem is that there is no direct download link in the text format, meaning that if you'd like to download the application on something like DAP, these guys usually don't have the camera. So I will just link the application with the direct link in the video description. So let's talk about the sound quality of this USB dongle. As for the sound quality, it's quite good. It's not on par with dedicated, more expensive and larger units. Remember that you're getting this one for free, included with the set, included with the cable. But it's clearly better, more transparent and more resolving than any of the built-in 3.5mm outputs of any of my tablets or my notebooks, etc, etc. So I really like that it's included here. The sound quality is quite nice. It beats hands down any internal 3.5mm outputs. But still, if you want to squeeze even more sound quality from the headphones themselves, you should use balanced connection and some kind of external headphone amplifier or USB dongle or portable player, like HiFi that I was showing a minute ago. Now, let's get back to the review and let's talk about pairings. So, Tanchjim Force is easy to drive, so there are no special requirements there, but it's clearly better with balanced, more powerful sources. I wouldn't pair it with anything super bright or super warm, because you would need to counter that with DSP. These headphones are really neutral, so they will prefer neutral sources too. Yes. Now, the summary. What do I think about them? If I would have to describe Force in one word, that would be clarity or transparency, not necessarily force. Clarity or transparency. If you'll give them good quality recording, they will instantly gratify you with excellent musicality and technicalities. They are also quite merciful for worse recorded tracks, like most of the 90s music, but they will not mask the bad stuff there. You will hear it, but they will not push problems in your face. Tanchjim doesn't follow Harman Kardon tuning. They have their own in-house tuning signature, and I have to admit that I rather like it. The similar signature follows with all the Tanchjim headphones that I've tested so far. Also, I'm a really big fan of the cable. This is a really high quality cable, one of the highlights of the full set. As you can see, the cable has two microphones. As I've said at the beginning, it's made with single crystal copper, pure single crystal copper. It has this very nice interchangeable connectors, so I will keep using both Force and the cable also with other headphones. I think the cable will be my reference cable from now on for other IEM reviews. So the cable saves money that would go for getting a second or third cable. Most of the headphones are still being delivered with 3.5mm jack, so if you want to have them balanced, you need to buy separate cable. In this case, you get all of this included in the box. So it's really convenient and it's also saving your money. All in all, this is another Tanchjim headphone that I really like. The build quality could be a little better, maybe. I may be spoiled with full metal casings, but I have to give the credit to Tanchjim Force for being very lightweight and for the fact that I'm instantly forgetting that I'm wearing them once I place them in my ears. So yeah, I guess when it would be full metal, it wouldn't be as light as these guys are right now. Okay. The sound quality is very good for the price, but it's I would say that it punches a little above the price. It really is good. And you'll get and you also get a really nice and useful set of accessories. Moreover, you can tune the sound to your liking with DSP when needed. You can use them as gaming headphones with the profiles or with your own profile. Basically, the funny thing is that any HiFi headphone, any HiFi IEM like this Tanchjim Force, basically mops the floor with typical gaming headsets. So if you'll have something like that, you'll be set for your gaming needs for life. On the other hand, these are quite expensive. So for gaming, they will be very good. They will sound excellent. They will give you excellent positioning of all footsteps or all sounds and things that are happening outside. But if you won't be using them for music, that may be just an overkill because they shine with the music. Okay, but that was me digressing about gaming. So it's very hard to imagine that someone wouldn't like the sound signature of the Force, especially since you can tune it to your liking. I really like those guys, and these guys will join my magic box of reference IEMs that I'm using for all reviews and comparisons, so you will hear about them from now on. Again, all the necessary links in the video description, including app, the one from this QR code, my test system setup details also in the video description. Thanks for watching. I hope you like this little video. Stay tuned for more videos like that, and I hope you'll have a wonderful, great day ahead of you. Bye guys, and see you next time.